Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm making ham and dumplings. Alright, I'm starting out in a large pot. I'm going to start by adding in 1 pound of diced cubed ham. And I'm putting the ham juice that's in that bag in there too, because that's going to be added flavor. Now I have a half of a large onion, 2 stalks of celery, and a decent amount of fresh parsley I diced up. That's going in. You could also use dry parsley if you don't want to use fresh, or if you don't have it on hand. Okay. Now I'm going to turn my burner on, and I'm going to add in 12 cups of water. Okay, now that I have all my water in, I'm going to let this come up to a gentle boil. Okay, while I'm waiting for this to come up to a boil, I'm going to season it. I'm going to start by putting in some black pepper. I'm going to put in about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Now you could put a ham bone in here and get a really good ham flavor, but I'm taking a shortcut. I'm using this Goya concentrated ham flavor. And there's 8 packs in here. I'm going to only start with 4 because this stuff is pretty potent, but it's really delicious. If I need to add another one in or two later, I will. And I'm going to add some salt in later, but I'm going to wait to see how salty this ham seasoning makes it. So I'm going to get my 4 packs in here. Now, up north here, we would call this ham pot pie, but I know in different parts of the country you call this ham dumplings. So that's what I'm making today, ham dumplings. So I'm going to get my 4 packs in here, get them stirred in, and we'll let this come up to a boil. Okay, now for our dumplings, in a large bowl I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. I'm going to add in 1/4 cup of shortening. This is Crisco. And it's one of the few times you'll see me measuring, because when it comes to baking, I'm not the best with baking. I'm going to add in a little bit of salt too. I'm going to add in, this is a new container of salt, so bear with me. I'm going to add in about a teaspoon of salt. And I added 2 more packs of that ham base to our soup mixture over here to make a total of 6. But I didn't add any salt in yet. I'll let it cook to develop the flavors. Now I'm taking a fork and I'm going to work this shortening through the flour so it gets nice and flaky. Alright, now that I have that shortening worked in, I have 3/4 cup of boiling water here I nuked in the microwave. I'm going to slowly add that in. Because if anybody knows, you add hot water to flour, it starts to turn that flour into dumplings. And we don't want this to be dumplings, we want this to be dough at this point right now. So I'm gradually adding that in. Just want to add it in slowly. This will also help melt that shortening throughout the flour. I'm going to stir that around good. You want to form this into a dough. Alright, I'm going to get rid of the fork here, and I'm going to go in here with my hand and mix this together. It's a little hot from that water, so. Okay, now that my dough's all mixed together, I have a piece of parchment paper on my stovetop tray to put some flour on. I'm just going to spread that flour on. This is a non-stick parchment paper. I take that dough we just made, and we're going to push this down on top of the parchment paper. And guys, I tasted my seasoning, or my soup over here, and I decided to put all my ham packets in, all 8, and added about a teaspoon of salt, so it tastes good, it's not too salty. Now I'm going to get this and I'm going to press it down with my hands. You could also use a rolling pin if you like. I'm just pressing it down. And guys, if your hands are cold, you're going to like this because it's warm to the touch. It's not hot, but it's nice and warm. Okay, that's about a 1/2 inch thick. Maybe we'll make it a little thinner so we get more pot pie. You don't want to go too thin because you don't want it to start to split, but we'll do about a 1/4 of an inch. And like I said, you can use a roller pin if you like. Okay, now I'm going to take a pizza cutter and I'm going to cut this into strips. And then I'm going to cut it into little squares. And I'm just going to go ahead and load these all into our soup mixture. Right now I have all my pot pie in here, and next time I would do one of two things different. I would either make a double batch of pot pie because I like extra pot pie, or I would use probably about 8 cups of water, but it's going to be fine. Now what this is going to do, I'm going to let it simmer for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. That's going to make that pot pie nice and tender, cook it through, and it's going to help thicken this up some because it's going to reduce down a little bit, and the flour and the pot pie will help thicken this up. And when it's done cooking, I'll give it one last taste for salt, seasoning. Okay, this one for about a half hour because I ran up and took a quick shower. It's still thickened up, and I'd say so for seasonings, it's perfect. As it cooked down a little bit, the ham flavor intensified, and it isn't real salty, so that's good too. Now this is optional. I like my dumplings or pot pie a little thicker, so I have about 4 tablespoons of cornstarch here with some water. I'm going to stir that in there and let this simmer just for a minute. You see it's starting to tighten up already. To tighten up. You don't have to do this, you can eat it more like a soup, but like I said, I like a little thicker like a stew. So this is ready to go, guys. Let's go ahead and fix up a bowl and see what we got. Alright guys, let me get in here and give this a try. I'm going to start with a little bit of ham in the broth first. Get a chunk of celery since it's right there. Really delicious. The celery's tender. Broth has a good rich smoky ham flavor from that seasoning. Ham is tender. Let's try one of these dumplings. Now you can see how nice and thick they are. Dumplings are cooked through. They soaked in all that good ham flavor. You get the shortening there. It gives a good, like a biscuit flavor. Really good, guys. Really easy, really delicious. Give this a try sometime. Ham and dumplings. Thanks for watching and supporting me, and remember, love what you eat and eat what you love.